We will come anywhere. But we have to leave here and not just say, well, not a good anniversary and walk away. Because I'm one of the founders in the 9/11 community, my husband and I, we were told by FEMA 6 weeks before it happened. Okay? That it was going to be a big project, people in Oklahoma City. I was on the phone with my client who was begging the FEMA, and the EAP was begging her to sign off on the air quality control. We met so many people, we've traveled all over the country. And we were standing alone saying, is anybody, especially the young people, will they ever hear us? We went conference after conference and see people in the 60s and 70s. And our prayer, like you say to God, that young people will unite. You're here today. Yeah. But don't walk away. Don't walk away. You gotta keep the movement going. You gotta take these numbers and say next month, next week, you know, in 3 months we're going to meet again. If you walk away, you're going to be lonely. People are going to trash you again, and it's never going to happen. Instead of saying build, and like you say, you build with no money. You build by the power of truth in the Word.
Wow.
Social worker. She was here to my office, and she came and she got very disturbed. She said that,
I'm sorry, do you mind if I tape you?
What?
Do you mind if I tape you while you say this? Okay, excellent.
And she said that she got a phone call. She's an industrial engineer, and she worked with the Gulf War in Oklahoma City. Okay. So I have 2 clients that are first responders, and I have a couple people that are FAA. And she has said that they contacted her, would she be available for a big project? And she said, what kind of project? They said it's going to be low in the hat, and it's going to be bigger than Oklahoma City. Will you be there available to assess the damage? Never to participate in the drill or walking. That wasn't the thing. So we had spent the whole entire summer, my husband and I and Michelle, really going over every newspaper, reading things, talking to people, saying, what do you think they're going to do? So when that happened at 8 o'clock, when we were listening, because it was a newspaper saying that, telling people not to fly on planes, you know, be careful. That day at 8 o'clock, we both said, my husband and I said, to George Bush going to war today. 45 minutes of planes were hit. She got the phone call asking her if she was signing off on the air quality. She knew about molten steel because the firemen boots were melting like crazy. The fires don't go on for weeks. So my husband, she won't talk to me anymore for other reasons, but my husband and I said, you know, we're going to go all over the country, we're going to start something. And he had heard the explosion being going from our building rattled so bad. And also she got the phone call from the government saying that the people were incinerated.
People were incinerated.
You don't get incinerated from fires. You get incinerated from explosions.
Right, right. So is this why that they're not releasing the bodies, right, of the people that were found? Is that
a lot of the people? The bodies were incinerated. They're like if you cremate somebody and there's only dust left.
Right.
They made sure that there was no evidence left. And I had come home from a conference right afterwards, and I saw the Mack trucks bringing the bodies to Fishkill, and I said, son of a bitches, I'm going to go, and I'm going to confront everybody, because who speaks for the dead? So I've gone over the years, like on C-SPAN, Brian Lamb said thumbs up, I was with them with the commission, we were always available, Michael and I. We knew immediately that something wasn't kosher, that there was, you know, that they were lying all the way through. We knew Bush would look, when he kept saying we bought that peace. You know, and we said, he rigs elections, he has banking scandals, and he goes to wars. And then you find out his grandfather, Prescott Bush, was the one who gave the gas to the gas chambers for the Nazis. So his family, like they say, have no heart or anything else.
right?
And I've confronted so many politicians, we confronted so many people behind the scenes, like one of the guys in Minnesota, he went and CNN, MSNBC, everybody says thumbs up when you're not around. And when they say Brzezinski, you know, when even Obama, one son is working for Obama, the other son is working for McCain. So when they say, you know, you got to know who's vetted, you got to know how to contact people, go to conferences, just like we're doing now. You don't know who you're going to meet along the way.
Yeah.
With this. But, you know, I was telling them about the explosions.
One I heard the explosion. It's the fourth explosion, okay? The one that occurred right before the North Tower came down knocked me off my chair. I've been in Rego Park, roughly 6-7 miles away. I don't know if I'm connected on a bedrock, on a certain, geologically connected. And I would never, say anything until about 3 years later. I found that I actually saw the seismic traces of that day. There were 4 huge explosions, but that fourth one was a 2.4 on the Richter versus the 2.1 on the Richter that the other 3 were. That's why the other ones I didn't feel. This 2.4 is a logarithmic scale. It's probably 3 times the power of the first 3 explosions. And explain that one to me. I mean, right
So
away.
you're 6 miles away.
Roughly as the close.
4 to 6.
And I literally got knocked off my chair as I'm watching it on TV, and then I see the North Tower coming down.
And he was screaming that day.
You understand? I mean,
That day, crying, screaming. Because I was in London, I was at St. Vincent's doing triage that day because we didn't know.
Yeah, well, they didn't have enough casualties.
And also they were saying, because the doctors and the nurses in Jamaica, Queens, they all live outside the country, their families. But they were here, they knew immediately. They knew immediately. Even my psychiatric patients said, "Where's the planes?" They were watching it. Everybody knew.
When she's saying, "Where's the planes?" Where was NORAD? I mean, as a kid growing up, we were taught NORAD is there. If there's an air attack.
Why do we pay our taxes?
Yeah, right. Where was our Air Force?
So we found
I mean, we literally have.
Gave stand-down orders for Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney. Gave stand-down orders to not respond.
Right.
And over the years,
You know something? I'll say the de facto stand-down orders by inserting the civilian leadership into the chain of command, into the process of scrambling fighters to intercept, which does not mean to shoot down like Dick Cheney wanted to, again, perpetrate a fraud on the American people, but to intercept planes that are off course, not responding to transponders. I mean, there was so much going on. Look, I'll give you an example. My brother was walking down 34th Street from his job. First of all, sorry,
Mr. Walker, the beat miners in the building.
my brother was walking from my brother was walking south, 34th Street, 32nd Street, actually. He was walking along 34th Street. At 11, it must have been roughly 11 that morning, he's approaching the Empire State Building, he's watching the people walking up from downtown, covered with the soot, and he's saying, "Oh shit, I'm right by the Empire State Building, for all I know." And there was not a jet in the air, there was not a air defense in the air. He's saying, "My luck, they're gonna crash in the Empire State Building now, and I'm gonna die." I mean, people don't remember what was going on that day, but it was amazing that there was no defense response. It was absolutely